For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a bit of a review on an updated product for Vango for 2019. This here is the Vango Taiga 600XL. Taiga's been a name that's been around, certainly in the Vango range, for a number of years now, and it sort of carries on in the same kind of formats, shape and size, but with quite a few updates for the 2019 season. So most probably obvious main change is obviously the colour itself. So we've changed from the kind of green to this new blue, and actually the fabric actually has changed as well. Traditionally it'd always been in kind of Vango sort of Sentinel active fabric, but they now move it into Sentinel Dura. But more importantly, it's actually got colour lock. So that kind of, the whole concept of what we call denier has kind of changed really down to this whole colour lock technology. Colour lock is basically the ability to make the fabric last longer. It also sort of locks the colour in to keep its sort of strength. But what more importantly does, it necessarily keeps the weight down low, so it performs more like a higher spec fabric, but you still don't have the weight. So you get durability without the extra weight, and you still, like I say, it's still really good quality. So that kind of again means that the Taiga has maybe increased a little bit in price point in comparison to last year, but like the main point is it's going to last you longer and be a lot more durable. So that is something across the whole range that you'll see with Vangos with the whole colour lock technology. One thing, it kind of in the same part, it's a free zone tent. So you've got a sleeping area at the back, a main living area, and then a nice big canopy area at the front as well. And again, it's kind of main part is kind of hybrid with air. So you've got each pole is inflated individually, and then you've got a fiberglass pole at the front. You can always check out our own Attwoolls pitching and packing videos on these, and shows you how quick, simple, and easy it really is to put this model up. Generally, other sort of improvements for the 2019 season are you're looking at, like I said, a slightly higher pallet. So again, you've got the ability of sort of more of a draft sort of mud skirt as such. You've now got webbing straps on the front and the back points as well. So what it does, it means that essentially the joys of it, you've got a bit much more stable platform to peg out to, rather than you still got the guy ropes on the side, which run with just bog standard normal guy lines. The front door panel obviously can be completely sewn, sort of zipped down and made enclosed. Alternatively, which you may have seen on other videos that we do on this product, you can actually, there's little eyelets positioned at the front here, so you bring that out to make a little canopy with some additional king poles which you can buy. But generally it's quite a nice tent. There's also a rain safe door on the other side as well, like a little brow canopy. Just means that you can, if you don't want to walk through the front door every single time, you've got the ability of literally just popping up there as and when you want to. But generally quite a nice uprights. Thing I'm not, I think personally, we'll talk more about the sort of specification on the inside, but I think really from where we believe it's probably might be a better buy is something like the Vango Valencia. So you can check out the video on there. It's a little bit more expensive, but you jump up a lot in terms of the features built into it, space internal to it, even though it's roughly about the same sort of footprint. But let's have a look on the inside and talk for a few more features about the Taiga. So now we're inside, so you can kind of get a bit more of a better grasp for certainly the size and also the layout in here as well. As you see from the front, we've got that nice sort of front canopy, which you have the ability of rolling both doors up to kind of make it a big, nice and open area. It's like I said, because it's a hybrid, you've got a single fiberglass pole that goes on the front. So really what you do is probably pitch the main body first and then put the fiberglass pole in afterwards. One thing I would bear in mind is that you haven't got any sort of curtains or anything in that front part of the canopy. So even though you've got beautiful big crystal clear windows, there's no way sort of hiding your privacy of your stuff. Whereas when you come into the kind of main living area as such, anywhere where you've got a window, you have got somewhere to get the privacy as well. Further changes that obviously happen for the 2019 season are the sort of divisional windows here are actually now completely mesh, rather than being like the PVC, which they have been in years gone by. Now what that does is it gives you kind of what they call aerozone panels, so it allows you to get good circulation in and out of the tent. Yet again, really condensation in sort of more recent years has been a massive issue with tents, just because the sewn in ground sheets, the higher specification of the fabrics, that's where it's all really changed, and that's where ventilation, like I said, is more it's more important than ever, really. A good sort of depth canopy gives you plenty of room sort of for cooking, or generally leaving your wet shoes out the front. But when you move into the living area, you have obviously got a divisional door as such, which is just here. There is a slightly little bit of a lip coming into it, but I think that's more, it's not an issue. But when you come to the side door, you've got two doors in position. One obviously the front part there, and the second one here with that rain safe canopy which I talked about on the outside. And there's also a mesh door built on only to the side part here itself. In terms of the living area, a decent sort of size, and yet again, like I said, the curtains on here are toggle up and toggle down, so they're just located down the bottom here. So you've got kind of two toggle points on it itself, so you can kind of toggle it halfway if you want to, or if you want ultimate privacy, you take it up to the top. Yeah, again, what the kind of Vango are offering is features built into the tent, but keeping the price point at something that's still quite affordable, like so. So it's not quite the level you probably know with sort of zip up and down curtains, but it just gives you plenty of coverage for the window, and like I said, allows you to get the privacy when you want to. Low level ventilation is basically beneath all of the window areas. Yeah, again, to help sort of, like I said, condensation, as well as a mesh panel above the front here, and there's actually a little zip at the top here to allow you to kind of run cables and things into that canopy area, having to leave the front door open all the time. Internal headroom is very good in here, and one thing you can yet again see is I'm about 6'2", and sort of in the corners it's not too bad when you lose a little bit of space, but in the main part of the area I think it's very good. And yet again, other things that you necessarily can't see is also like when you come to the bedroom area, tons of headroom in here, so when you get changed in the mornings it's not an issue. Generally this is kind of a 6 berth, so you've got a 2, 2 and a 2, but this sort of bedroom here can be made into a 4 just because it's got a little divider between the two sections. Also, one thing you've got as well is Skytrack. So on the back beam here by the V, you've got Skytrack running through the roof and then down the side, whereas when you move forward into the sort of two beams in the main living area, Skytrack's only on the roof part and stops about here. So it gives you the ability, if you're not sure what Skytrack is, it's like a little runner that can sort of clamp itself onto a single point, and that creates a hanging point. So again, the joys of that is you can have a hanging point anywhere inside the tent itself. And yet again, Vango are doing a new kind of flexi kind of light system, which is quite nice, and gives you the ability of kind of positioning it on there so you don't take up any internal headroom. Bedrooms have got little storage pockets in there as well, which is quite nice, and they're actually a little bit more lower down this year, so there's not much of a lip in and out of the bedroom. In years gone by, it always was a bit of a pain as such. One thing to bear in mind though, like I said, in comparison to the Taiga versus the Valencia, is that the Valencia has a deeper bedroom. This Taiga will take, it's about 2 meters 10. The problem you find is when you have a high-rise airbed or a camp bed, you'll struggle to get it in as you should that way, because when it comes back higher, you lose the slope at the bottom. So really from about here, it's only going to be about sort of 170, 180, which means the camp bed's going to stick out the front. So with the Valencia, like I said, there's a better compartment at the back. It's for a little storage, but also means you've got flatter bedrooms, so you can get a camp bed or a high-rise airbed in it as you want to. Other things you got in the actual Taiga as well is the ability of TBS, so tension band system, so something that gives a bit more internal bracing. That's something that comes in all of the Vango tents. But generally, it's a model that's been going for a while, and I think now, even though with the updates in terms of the mesh, you know, the new colour lock Dura fabric, personally I think it's probably gone a little bit above a price point that you're too kind of, I think personally, it's too close to the Valencia. I think for the money, you know, an extra 100 odd pounds that it is, personally I think the Valencia is probably a better buy than the Taiga. One thing to bear in mind is that, you know, pack size is around about the same, pumps included, but check out our pitching videos and also the packing videos on the Valencia and Taiga and see, because pitch time's around about the same. Just the fact that obviously the Valencia is completely air, whereas this has got a fiberglass pole on the front. So, but generally I think it's still very much a strong tent. It's just potentially I think there's probably a stronger thing in the range, but interesting model. I love the new tweaks, but then I think the price point does sort of alter things a little bit as well. So, but that's kind of our little video review on the Vango Taiga for 2019.